Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our Thursday team call for tonight. I'm excited to talk about with you. Last month, I actually had the privilege of worked my butt off, and I got a success club. So with that, the prize with it is that we got a live exclusive event with the author of Eat, Pray, Love, the book. Yeah, so awesome. Elizabeth Gilbert. Okay, so she talks about, let's dive right into it. She talks about having a creative life. And she means by that, having a creative life is having routinely make your life based on curiosity instead of your fear. I love that. We talk about this fear thing going on here. She says, talk gently to your fear, meaning your fear, it can come along with you on your journey, but it needs to sit in the back of the bus. It's not going to drive. It's not going to read the map and tell you where to go. It's going to sit in the back and just stay there while you and curiosity go drive and do your life, right? Love that. And then she goes, here's what, okay, she talks, this is what she does. It's kind of like out there, but she talks to her fear, like literally talks. This is what she says to her fear. Hey, here's what curiosity and I have for a plan. If you can offer me an alternative, then I'll think about it. But usually, you guys, what is fear? Fear is shutting the door in your face. Fear is no, no, no. You constantly hear no. I'm actually going to go be a successful coach. Successful, right? We'll be talking about that later too. I'm going to go rock, whatever. You get what I'm saying here. And fear is just like, no, you're not. And then you and curiosity is like, actually, I have a plan. And if you have a different way of going about it, let me know. But if not, here we go. So that's something really cool that I learned about. And then she talks about, she says, do it even if no one is watching. There's no pay, just because it makes you happy. Finding your why, you guys, especially with coaching here, finding your why, or like what about coaching? We all have different jobs, right? I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a coach. I've had different jobs. Those are all different jobs to me. And it's like, obviously, being a wife and a mother, you do it without pay, obviously, but doing your job without pay, your job without pay, just because it makes you happy. Because she's a writer and she's tried over and over and she kept getting shut down, but yet she's like, I have a spark in me that I love writing. And I transitioned that from coaching. I love coaching. It's not about how much money I get paid, because if you're in this business for a get rich, quick scheme, that's not what we're about. You're in it because you just simply love it. You love engaging with people and helping others and helping yourself. Like, it's just wonderful. And this is where we talk about the success part. People say, I want to be successful. That's awesome. But take it in an example where you won your Grammy Award. There's always somebody coming next. You don't win it over and over and over. Like, you can, sure, but you're going to work your butt off and you get fried. But you'll have your shot. But yeah, to be successful is great, and you should go for that. But then there's got to be this and part. You got to, you tell yourself, yeah, I want to be successful as a coach. And for me, I would say I want to help other people, because that's going to be continuous. There's going to be, different ages that I can, by the time I hit 30 in a couple of years, ooh, I said that word. The time I hit 30 in a couple of years, I can still go back to the 18-year-olds and be like, look, I was where you once were, so that's my because it's continuous, helping people. And I just simply love doing that. God's placed it on my heart. That's where I'm heading in life. But if you just focus on that, I just want to be successful part, you will have no moment of contentment. That's what she says. You made it. Cool. Now what? What's going to happen the next day? Let's move on. To live in joy, to be ambitious, and that ties into loving the process as it goes on. And I love this. I know we're all about like schedule book. You know, I got my assignment book that I give myself or whatever, my schedule. But she says, and Jeff was talking about this too on the call, that sometimes as coaches, we set a time frame, like I want to be diamond in X amount of days, or I want to be 2-star by the end of this year. That's awesome to give yourself that time frame. But after being a coach for like 2 years now, it kind of stresses me out at times. And I'm like, it pulls me into a different type of cycle, and we won't go there because I know a lot of us have been there, but we're crawling out, right? But that's a different talk. But what I mean with this schedule thing is that I tell myself I'm going to be successful, and I'd like to have one, because with Beachbody you get 3 business centers. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure you get 3 business centers, meaning you go 15-star if you follow along there. And I myself, that's one of my goals, is to be a 15-star, just have one business center by the time I die. Because I'm going to keep working at this thing. This is like, coaching is in my blood. It's in what I love. It's what I do. And it's going to be before I die, because at least you're trying. And at least you keep push and play, and you connect with loved ones in your tribe. Hello, lovelies. Okay. Any questions so far? No. Okay. Okay, these are a little fun. She said that we live in a really, like, as human beings, we are messy. We are so messy. We are all emotional people. I don't care if someone's like, I'm not emotional. She would beg to differ. And I agree with this too. Elizabeth would beg to differ. She would say, you are messy, and you are living an emotional life. What you had for breakfast this morning was emotional. It's what you ate this morning is who the person you want to be. For me, Cocoa Pebbles, no, I don't know. But some mornings, yeah. And I love this one statement here. We are all flawed in a magnificent, can you say that word? Magnificent way. Okay. And then Jeff brought up the topic here. This is kind of cool. Do you want to live in the small life, like a small life, or a big path? Yes, the big path, it has risks, it has challenges, it's scary, you know, fear is constantly on that bus, but you have it in the back, right, guys? But that big path can be so rewarding, so like, just, you're so overjoyed, and you took that leap of faith, and you went after it, and you're doing well. You'll always find a way. I always believe in that. I don't care what you do in life, you always find a way. Hands down. You're happy about something? Boom. Okay, got your water. Chug, ladies. Go. Sorry. Okay. This is one of Elizabeth's friends, and I love this. Imagine right now. Imagine there's a big bonfire, and she says, like, it is scorching hot, and you get real close to it, and you're looking at this bonfire, and you're like, you're looking, and you can either have a warm and safe and healing experience when you take that leap and you jump into that bonfire, or you'll be incinerated. And obviously Elizabeth wrote Eat, Pray, Love. So she believes, you know, there's a higher power like God and stuff, and her friend too. She's like, you'll be incinerated and then you're born again. Either way, you win, because that's who you'll become at the end of the fire. Like, whether you're warm, safe, and healing, and at the end of that, you'll be like, I'm stronger in this way, yada, yada, yada. or you can be incinerated. I've been incinerated many times and it set me back, but then I'm like, I grab a hold of life and I'm like, look, this is not who I want to be. This is not how I want my life to go. I'm moving on. And I was burned. It could be whatever, but I move forward and I become the person who I want to be. Yeah, life is definitely messy, you guys, right? You take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Elizabeth goes, no, actually, no. She says, you take 2 steps forward, 7 steps sideways, and then you're on the bathroom floor with a towel over your head, crying your eyes out. You don't know what to do. Then what the decision, though, is that we're all human beings. We all have the choice and to have you can make the change. And then who you are now is not longer accurate. Like who I was at 18 is not the same. I'm not the same person. And in ways, sure, but change is inevitable, and learning to really take hold of that. And it has taken me some time. I now accept change. For a while there, I did not accept change. My fear was so strong. But you work through your personal development, you connect with people who uplift you, and thank you, Beachbody, who has helped me there. So love you guys. Any questions now? No. Oh, I love you too. Cool. Okay, life is a natural force. It's messy, natural, emotion, and she was talking about jumping banks. She said back in like 1950, something another, United States, in the middle, we have our Mississippi River, and they put boundaries, and they said, this is where the Mississippi River is going to go. And that's the way it was. But then a couple of years ago from today, Hurricane Katrina is like, I don't think so. Natural forces moved the Mississippi River. And, Mother Nature's like, no, you're going to have Mississippi over here. So, like, there's just natural... Elizabeth talks about that. There's just natural forces you can't control, and you need to be like, especially as women, we need to be like let that go. It's nothing for me to be concerned about. Okay. And then this stuff is really good. I'm so excited right now. She talks about discipline, but discipline is not always enough, because you can be so disciplined, but then like kind of go nowhere. Can you relate? There's a force that's bigger, and you can say that your day, okay, let's picture 1, 2, and 3 days here. So on the first day, you have all of these goals, right? We have all these goals, especially into the new year here. We have all these goals. The excitement and commitment, we're like, let's do this thing. I want to lose so much weight, or I want to be this far in my business, and I want to meet so much more people and help so much more people. That's day 1. Then day 2 comes around. It could literally be the next day where you just bomb day 1. You're like, I screwed that up. And, or it could be on day 11 for you. That's a day 2. Yeah, me too, right? And she says, the biggest thing is self-forgiveness. Just to be like, look, self, I fudged up and I'm ready. I have to move forward. This is going to pull me down and I need to like knock it off. And then she says on that day 3, the people who pick up on day 3 are generous souls towards themselves. You tell yourself, you know what? I wasn't a champ at that earlier. And this is my goal, to lose this much pounds or help this much people. This is my goal. And the best part about it is that I am trying. And you need to like dig deep about that try thing, because I told myself I was trying a long time ago with health and fitness, and I was not trying. I wasn't. You just really dig deep and be like, am I really following the program? Or, your vitals as a coach, am I really listening and doing the vitals, the 3 people a day, that just basic of coaching. So there's that. And then you tell yourself, I never promised the universe I was going to be an excellent blank. For me, it'd be like, I never promised the universe I was going to be an excellent coach. I just said I wanted to be a coach. And that's where my passions and the spark of curiosity and like, I don't know, it's just beautiful there. So, okay. Now we're going to be talking about mainly more about women here, just wrapping it up here. Women, we care about so many damn things, you guys. We care about way too much. I'm just saying. We care about how the toilet paper is on the toilet paper roll. Is there something on the windowsill that I should move off? Should I it's like, oh my gosh, we care about too much care, right? We don't care about that stuff. It's junk. It's whatever. I don't care about the dishes that are in my sink right now. Yeah, they have to be done, but I'm not going to do them. Not tonight. Even though I told myself I was going to. Psh, gone. Stress. Okay. You got to get really real with yourself. Start focusing. This is what we're going to tie into tonight here, you guys. Focus on 4 things that are most important to you and learning the boundaries with that. So the 4 things for me is God, my faith, my husband, my son, my future baby coming in August, and this coaching business. Those are my 4 things that I am just putting all my mojo, all my energy to, because everything else, it does matter. Friends matter. People matter in your life. But it comes to a point where you got to learn how to say no, because otherwise you're breaking your own boundary. And that's where you feel defeated and fear comes in. And then you set yourself back. And that's not what we want to do. So learning those boundaries for yourself, finding your 3 to 4 things that really, truly matter to you, and just being the best you can at those. And those 4 things, they'll change. They can change for you. Absolutely, they can change. No, just like your why. When I first started out as a coach, I was so pressured at the beginning of how I was approached with finding my why to be like, I don't know what my why is. It's just freaking and stressing me out. Like, and I thought your why had to be like one thing forever. I'm like, I don't know one thing forever. No, your why is going to always change. You're changing. The life's changing. It's okay. So there's that. Oh, okay. We have a little bit of time here, just here. What are you willing to give up that you are pretending to do the thing that matters most? So Elizabeth was approached by a woman. I forget how she met this woman, but she was approached by this woman because Elizabeth was working like 3 jobs at the time. And she's like, I just have no time. You hear that from people all the time. I have no time. I can't do that. There's no time in my day. I'm working all these jobs. I'm trying to like provide for myself, and you just have no time. But then this woman comes to her and she's like, what are you willing to give up that you are pretending to do the thing that matters most? Something like that. And then she asked Elizabeth felt targeted, and you even might feel targeted right now, but that's not my intention. Like, just figure it out for yourself in your own life. Otherwise you and I can have a fun conversation. It's totally cool. Like, just to ask questions and figure yourself out. That's what we're here for. But Elizabeth was questioned. The woman's like, do you watch TV? And Elizabeth's like, yeah. And they said, oh, what's your favorite TV channel? And they went on. And the woman's like, honey, you have time. You need to go home and cancel your TV because like you said, your goal is this, but yet you are here. So goodbye to this. And then that's where you keep growing here. And then Elizabeth's like, well, I actually have a girls' retreat coming up this weekend. And the woman's like, no, you're not going. And she's like, what? She says, you need to give up the things that do matter to you. I thought that was really cool. I've never really thought about it that way. sometimes, yeah, you need a girls' retreat. You need to get the heck away. Like, you just need that awareness. But like, no, if you're good in many aspects of your life, and you know, things are just coming at you one after another, and you can let some things go that you do want to do, then it needs to be done, because it'll make you that much closer to your goal, that much focus, that much more boundaries around your goal. And those people who you tell no to, they'll either love you and be your tribe because they respect you and your life and your boundaries, or they'll fly away. And as women, as for myself, that is really difficult. And I've actually had some friends who fluttered away slowly, but that's honestly not on me. That's on them. That's what they wanted. I give those who matter most to you, you do want to be a part of their lives. You do reach out and that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can only pour yourself into so many people. And if they're not willing to work around your schedule too, with that mutual respect, you'll find your ways. Okay, let's just wrap it up in about 2 minutes or less here. Okay, she says, in life, with your jobs, you can have, what do you want to be? So you want to be a coach. You want to be a, whatever you want to be. If you want to be multiple job juggling woman, sure. But she said, you're always going to have a crap sandwich. This is not from her. This is from like a friend of hers or something. You're always going to have a crap sandwich. There's always going to be rejection. There's always going to be things that you want to do that can't get done or whatever. But no matter what field you choose or whatever job you choose to do in life, you're always going to have a crap sandwich. Something's always going to go wrong. You need to know it's inevitable. But there's a lot of beautiful things that can come out of that experience, especially if you and curiosity are strong and you're like, I actually really love what I'm getting into. But the thing is here, you guys, is that you get to choose your flavor of crap sandwich. You get to choose your flavor. Your flavors are your decision. You get to choose the fun and the things that are cool to you. That's what I've come up with, is that those are your flavors. So like, yeah. Let me just end it on this here. For women, she says, you need to challenge yourself. This is what she ended with. You need to be deeply passionate about something, that you need to challenge yourself daily, because we only live, I listened to a body angle thing and I sent Tracy this too. We live in such a world that it's going so fast, but you need to just take a moment and you do need to challenge yourself. But she said here, there are 4 things for a woman to be revolutionary. This has never been done by a woman or a man, to be honest with you. You need to be, yes, women have to be tough, strong, independent, and at ease and this and that. But this is revolutionary. Something to model up to is a woman should be relaxed. Isn't that awesome? Relaxed. How is a woman supposed to be relaxed when we're worried about the dishes in the sink? When we're worried about, it's like, no, stop. Okay, here we go. Number 1, airtight boundaries. You need to have airtight boundaries where you end. There's no lines to be crossed. So those 4 things you're focusing on. Number 2 is your faith. It is a deep mystical, you have to know that everything is okay even when it's not. There's that strong faith that I've always had, and then I just know that it's going to be strong whether it's not here. You know, it's not, if I think it's not going to be okay, it's going to be okay. I do have faith. Number 3, you need to let go of the world. As women, we hold on to the world, and there's like this giant crank at the top, and there's all these forces and destiny coming out of our control, and there's this big crank. Let go of that crank, ladies. We are one human being. We are just relax, right? That's what we're focusing on, relax. And then the last one here, care about your 3 to 4 things to focus on. What you care about, what you don't care about. Literally, physically, make a list. What I care about, what I don't care about. I don't care about the dishes, vacuuming, blah, blah, blah. That will get done. Sure. It needs to at some point. Sure. but I care about the time spent with people and the ones I loved, sure. And there we go. That is what I've learned.
Yay. I will say that it was a blessing for me to be able to like not lead a call and take notes, because sometimes like even like y'all are coming to us for advice on building your businesses and help and things like that, and sometimes we forget that even as leaders, like we need that inspiration and that encouragement too. So that's something that I've been really focusing on for myself lately. And something like, I don't know, at the beginning you said, like, don't let your fear sit in the driver's seat. And I know Ashlee and I have, thank you to Beachbody, like, gotten this incredible, like, I can't even say that she's, like, my best friend. It's more like a sister kind of deal. Because, like,
yeah.
Ashlee's, like, besides my actual best friend, the only other person who really knows, like, the intimate details of my life that I feel comfortable sharing that with. And so when I'm having a moment, like earlier this week, like I'll tell you guys, I got fearful. I've been busting my tail for my business for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, man, nothing is happening. And you're going to have those moments where you're like pounding the ground, running, just doing everything you can do and then some, and you're like, man, nothing is happening. And I literally like sent Ashlee a voice message in tears, like, dude, I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm just so done. And she's like, dude, just like, you got to keep going. And so like, that's seriously, that's like the only thing I could think of when she was like, don't let your fear take the driver's seat. Like, I almost fell apart earlier this week. And the other thing I was thinking of when you said let go of the world, Tony Robbins has a really good quote. He said that he had this one guy come up to him and say, I just feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. Like, I know that feeling, been there. I think we can all relate to that at one point or another. But he says, if the weight of the world is on your shoulders, pick it up, set it down, and move on. Okay.
Easier said than done, yeah, for sure. But that's where I think we take a time in our life to reflect and be like, there's so much going on. I'm so overwhelmed. What the crap do I do? You reach out to people who uplift you, and then they kind of like shake you into like sense. And you're like, oh okay.
Right?
I'm not nuts. I'm just taking on too much. I need to learn to say no. And I need to reevaluate my goals and what I want to focus on 3 to 4 things, right? Jeez.
We have about 10 minutes left. Did anybody else like have questions or anything that like really resonated with you? Tracy, if you have anything, I muted you myself, so you might have to push unmute.
Yeah, feel free.
I mean, I'm going to talk until one of y'all unmutes and like jumps in if y'all don't say something.
Supposedly, she mentioned the crap sandwich in her book, The Eat, Pray, Love, but Jeff is like, I'm not going to use the word that you used in the book. So I'm kind of curious what that book's about.
It's so funny because I have Eat, Pray, Love, and I'm like, man, I watched the movie, so I kind of know what it's about, but I'm like, I wonder if this counts for personal development. And I started like the first couple pages and I'm like, man, this is probably more of a leisure reading book. And I don't read leisure reading books anymore. I read personal development books. So I'm like, I'm going to pick this back up and read it.
I think you should. I absolutely do. Yeah. Yeah. What my biggest takeaway or whatever was the revolutionary thing that to model is a relaxed woman. And I think that kind of coincides with my goals this year is to be consistent and, be consistent. And there was some other, Nina, we were very similar with our goals. But to be relaxed, especially like having baby Matthew trying to run this business, like being super sick until most recently. So I'm glad for that. But be relaxed.
Tracy, were you going to say something?
Yeah.
No, like, and going off of that, like being relaxed, especially in like the field that I work in, is really hard because I work with 99% guys on a daily basis. It's like I'm a technician, and it's like I have to be strong and independent and push my way through them. So trying to balance being relaxed it's hard.
Yeah. So what do you do, I guess? How do you just I don't know, your personality is just so awesome, and I think, yeah, you just rock in that type of environment, even if they are like whatever.
I make sure to get shit done.
I was an engineer, so I completely understand the being a woman in a field of men, for sure. Even in college, and I took some specialized classes in high school, and it was like I was the only girl in junior and seniors of the entire program. I think my senior year, I was the only girl. So it's crazy. Like, it's nuts how men dominate certain fields that women are just as capable, just as intelligent, maybe even more, to be able to do the same stuff.
I was going to say, like, I grew up with a lot of boys and I work with a lot of guys, and I find what helps get me through work is you got to be one of the guys. You got to be that goofy, stupid, dumb. You got to roll for humor, even though you're really like, really? You just got to roll with it and shoot the dumb crap right back at them, and that usually kind of breaks that tension and helps with the relationship, and I've learned over the years that that helps.
Yeah, I think that's a vital thing. It's what you just said. It's like you got to stay true to yourself, though, with that, and to be authentic in your actions, true to yourself. But I don't know, I'm not a different person, but I do catch myself. I'm like, the way I act around some friends is not how the way I act around some other friends, and I think that's okay. It's not being fake at all. I think it's just reading other people's body language and just having the boundaries, having that respect towards the other person. I think there's that.
I think so too. Did anybody have like any questions? I mean, I like this call. I liked being able to take notes for a call. I liked the 4 most important things. I think that we forget that, like, you don't have to do everything. Like, you feel like you have to do everything, but you don't have to do everything. There are things that you can delegate even if you don't feel like you can. You know? I mean, it's as simple as, like, I'm not cleaning my girls' room. They're old enough. They're going to clean it. I just delegated that. You know what I mean? You don't have to do everything. So we have, like, 4 minutes left. I'm going to stop the recording as soon as I figure out how.